Look, you three, ELYSION is in dire straits. We haven't had a hit in months. And Ingrid thinks we can fix that by coming up with a flashy new burst animation for the next ELYSION, Nikke.
Where's Absolute? Aren't they the face of ELYSION?
Absolute is out of commission for now. Apparently some pilgrim sent EUNHWA something so disturbing it almost caused a mind switch in the entire team. So instead, I'm in charge of this meeting.
Okay, so why am I here?
It's because you're just so good at acting that, Ingrid thought you'd know how to, give good choreography direction to the next ELYSION, Nikke.
It's because my killer wife design and event wallpaper are some of the hottest things ELYSION has ever put out. And the last good thing ELYSION put out.
Hey, have you seen my maid outfit?
Yes. Mid. Just 2 more questions. Why is the Chinibyo here?
Dark times call for darker measures. And so, in this dire hour, the Association calls upon me, Guillotine de Mephisto, to finally summon forth a servant that—
Ingrid wants us to use her as a burst animation taste tester.
So anything she likes we should approve?
Oh no, the opposite. Anything she likes we're supposed to toss because it'd be either too expensively impractical or cartoonishly ridiculous to fit ELYSION's tough military style.
Wait, what?
Okay, last question. How and why is she here in ELYSION's headquarters?
Oh, I needed to print a couple copies of this 500-page document, and the printer at the Kingdom couldn't handle such a large order. I was on the way to deliver it to RAPI's room when I heard you three were assigned to save ELYSION from falling further behind in the Tribe Tower. And since I was originally an ELYSION Nikke, I decided to come and lend my advice on how to become popular. I'm an expert at it after all.
MARIAN, you know there are still standing orders directly from the highest echelons of the central government for all Nikkes to capture or kill you if given the opportunity, right?
Care to try? After all, that worked out so well for you last time.
I remember.
You'd better pray that I no longer remember by the time I truly return to the Ark to, how would you put it? Ah yes, deliver justice to those who have wronged me and my darling commander.
Oh shit, that was so hardcore. I gotta write that down.
MARIAN, completely unrelated, but I just want to say that Birmingham made me come after you and I totally didn't want to, and Ami was definitely in charge of that mission.
Oh, don't worry, Discount Tsundere Hatsune Miku. You were never competition. Miss Assassin over here, though. She might have the single best burst animation in the game.
Hear me, oh mighty pilgrim. You must refrain from dispensing ratings until the sacred rules have been recited.
What? Oh, right! This tier list will be covering the burst animations for all ELYSION Nikkes. We won't be ranking Delta or the mass-produced ELYSION Nikkes since none of them actually have burst animations. Rankings will be based on how detailed the animation is, the character's burst voice lines, how well everything thematically fits the Nikke, plus how good it looks when set as a lobby wallpaper. Export doesn't actually have all ELYSION Nikke's max limit broken, so some footage of the lobby versions will be still images. We'll also be considering alternative costumes. Well, costume, since ELYSION only has one character, Marciana, that has an alternate burst animation. Anyway, I think we should start with—
Oh, me! Pick me!
Yes, so let us rewind the clock back to the start of this twisted tale of death and deceit.
I will protect you, Commander!
Here we see an angel descending to save the day, while the fires of corruption rage behind her, ready to consume her.
It's good, but not great. For one, the explosion background could belong to anyone. There's nothing unique about it.
Also, why are you holding the gun above your head? You look like you're about to smack a rapture with it instead of shooting one.
Yeah, funny thing about corruption. The first 3 things to go are your sense of morality, knowledge of which is the shooty end of the gun, and the ability to tie your shoes. That last one took a long time to get back.
Is that why you're wearing Velcro shoes?
Yeah, aren't they super cute?
Yes, that is why I too partake in shoes of the Velcro variety. To be truly free is to cast aside all ties that would bind oneself, including ties on—
Maiden already told us that you don't know how to tie your shoes, Guillotine. You don't need to make excuses. And your footwear is like number 50 on the list of things that make you weird.
Back to the burst animation. Its lack of uniqueness or tie to your character keeps it from the higher tiers, but it is still visually impressive. B tier.
Next are the finest agents of the organization, Absolute. Starting with their leader, EUNHWA.
I'll put a bullet in every last stinking one of you.
The pose, dialogue, and whole concept are very on point. It could have been a great animation. The problem is the lack of animation.
Yeah, and while the camera has some good movement, both EUNHWA and the background don't. It still makes for a good lobby wallpaper, but as a burst it's a letdown. C tier.
Going from the hardcore military theme of the last two, next is something completely opposite, with Emma's burst.
I'll give you my full attention.
Well, that was something.
Such generic cuteness has no place in the organization. And like, what's up with that dialogue? It's so random.
It really does seem generic. If it's going to be all cute, couldn't they at least tie in her bad cooking somehow? Plus, Emma fans have better options for their lobby, with both of her costumes providing more fan service. D tier.
Finally, we have the last member of Absolute, and someone almost as scary as me. It's VESTI.
Don't come any closer or I'll have to kill you all.
Yes, embrace the darkness within, bestie.
Now this is how you do a good burst. It manages to perfectly represent her entire character in just a few seconds. Her crazy face is memorable and creepy.
The only downside is that crazy, memorable face isn't what appears as a lobby wallpaper. Instead is the first half of the burst, which is definitely the less interesting version. Also, while her dialogue is on point, it could have been delivered with a bit more emotion. Even so, it's still a strong A tier.
Moving on from Absolute to a former member of Absolute, it's RAPI.
Focus fire.
Cringe, ick, big yikes, F tier.
While the powers bestowed upon me by the one-winged Dark Lord allow my cursed eye to perceive the bias in your words, I cannot deny this is indeed mid.
No character movement, bland background, uninteresting dialogue. Rookie mistakes I'd never make on my worst day. F tier.
Really, D? Yay, all is forgiven. Now on to my best friend, Neon.
Is it because you two share the same brain cell?
Time for the grand finale! This is a lot like Rappy's burst, but better in every way. A more detailed and colorful background, much better character animation with Neon spitting out the bullet. The fact that this first-year SR has a better burst animation than most Elysian units is probably why we're having this meeting, now that I think about it.
Yes, let us reward one who likewise understands the importance of power in this grand battle between the forces of light and dark. A tier.
And she's not done yet. She's got another burst, this time for her summer version, Blue Ocean.
Feast your eyes upon my overflowing water power! I really don't like the idea of her being around the commander in a bikini. Because it's not professional. And what if a rapture attacked? Could she fight in it? F tier.
Your acting skills could use some work, PRIVATY. Trust me. Back to the burst, it is rather generic. It could fit almost any summer unit. Still, the happy theme of the burst certainly matches this target's profile. B tier.
Now for one who must surely have made some dark deal with an otherworldly entity. For that is the only explanation why she gets to be included in so much official Nikke artwork and ads. It's Diesel.
May victory be ours.
Maybe it's cause my brain got reset, but I don't remember anything that would connect this to Diesel's story or personality.
You're not missing anything. I've reviewed her file, and there's nothing that connects this train operator with a loaf for strawberry candy to some random grassy field. And that dialogue could have been said by almost any other Nikke. It's so bland. F tier.
Where there is shadow, there must also be light. Thus, this next burst is destined to balance out the last terrible one.
Aim for the target. Maximum output. Fire!
It takes more than side boob to make a good design.
Does it though?
Yes! I mean, I guess this one does have a really cool background with the AZX. And the dialogue is exciting. And the lobby wallpaper is probably one of the greatest in the... fine. BRID is our first S tier.
You guys, I think the Syndicate has hacked our systems. It's displaying this Nikke that I and 90% of the fan base have forgotten about.
I'll take care of this, and you can take that to the bank.
First, check out the top 10 forgotten Nikkes video in the title card and description below. See how many you remember. Second, how can such an easily forgotten Nikke have such an action-packed burst animation?
While her aim seems sloppy, I have to agree the energy and action in this burst is shockingly good, considering how underwhelming SOLINE is. The dialogue is a bit generic. Take it to the bank? Really? Still, for the action and good pose, SOLINE goes in A tier, the sleeper head of ELYSION.
Now for an arguably even more forgotten Nikke, it's Signal.
Danger! Please! Requesting backup! Wow, we really do have a lot of forgotten Nikkes. No wonder Ingrid sounded so desperate.
Why does an SR unit outside of the counters get a burst?
She's actually an SSR. For some reason, uncovering the secret behind why ShiftUp made such a bizarre choice is a recon mission too tough even for me.
Ahem, back to our assignment, which is judging these bursts. Signal's isn't bad. It's on theme in every aspect, but much like her character, Signal's burst also isn't super exciting. C tier.
Looks like you're up next on the chopping block, PRIVATY.
Oh, that's fine. I'm sure the commander loves mine. He even has 2 options to choose from.
We'll get to that second option later, but starting with your original.
Target locked. Commence bombardment. Hold together now.
I like how the burst combines into the attack, with the missiles launching in the animation and then landing in the gameplay.
Tell me, PRIVATY, have you been conspiring with the Big O to summon dark beings from another world to do their bidding?
What? No! Why would you even ask that?
Then how do you explain why Doom Guy is standing right behind you?
No, he's... What the fuck?
Shh, PRIVATY! We aren't supposed to announce the Doom collab for another 3 months. Quick, just put this in A tier.
Let's move on before I have to silence both of you for spilling central government secrets like that. Next is PRIVATY, kind maid.
Oh my gosh, do we have to? I think I'm going to die of embarrassment.
Become tastier? Could you...
Let's wipe them out in head.
Aha! I know you were consorting with demonic forces. How else could you enhance yourself with the animalistic powers of a cougar?
I am not a cougar. If anything, Yulha's the cougar.
What?
I'm sure this burst makes PRIVATY fans happy, and they'll put it in S tier. For everyone else, it's just a very generic maid animation. C tier.
Moving on to the superior blue-haired Nikke. It's HELM.
In what way is she superior to me?
Watch.
Full speed ahead. Aegis cannon. Fire.
Oh wow, the Admire looks so cool. And so do her lines and pose. The underwater depths contain unknown eldritch abominations. Any who would brave such darkness is surely worthy of praise. A tier.
And yet somehow Helm managed to top even that excellent burst with this next one. It's Helm, Aquamarine.
Aegis cannon. Full steam ahead. Open fire.
How? I had the power of Miku on my side. How could I not be the best blue-haired waifu in this game?
If it makes you feel any better, as part of taking out a target at an ARC Anime Expo, I had to do extensive research on anime romances. And one thing I learned is that the blue-haired girl never gets the guy. Even though Shinon was clearly the better... at least that's what I learned on that mission. So it's not like either of you had a chance.
Well, of course they didn't have a chance. The commander is obviously going to end up with me. Back to the burst, though. This is superior to Helm's original in every other way. Her costume is better, not just because it's a swimsuit, but also because they fixed that weird thing with her hat clipping through her hair.
Plus, the mighty Admire demonstrates its great and terrible power by actually firing its cannons this time. And her dialogue in this is more exciting and delivered with more passion. Top of S tier.
You know, with so many great bursts, maybe Ingrid was worried about nothing. What's next? MAST? Well, she's part of Aegis, so maybe it's also great.
Nope.
I'll send you down to Davy Jones' locker.
A character wearing all white, standing on a gray background. Great combo for hiding from a target, not so great for a burst. The lack of much animation on Mast's part doesn't help either. Even Morgan's funny pose can't save this from F tier.
The quality of the Aegis squad writhes to and fro. Where shall this last member, Anchor, land?
Is this? Oh yeah, that's it.
Fun, bright colors, an animation that fits her backstory and character, a solid burst.
I'm just going to say this now so I can avoid having to hunt down any viewers later. That dialogue is sus. Real sus. Do not lewd the lolly. With that warning delivered, Anchor goes in B tier.
Do you feel that, my comrades? I can no longer contain the dark, forbidden power that lays behind this eye patch. The gift and curse of the one-winged Dark Lord must now make its presence known.
Super Ultra Worm Blast!
A little over the top for my tastes, but then again, I'm the last person that can criticize someone for having an edgy burst animation.
As ridiculous as you are, Guillotine, I have to admit this is a fun burst. The animation is fitting, if not very intricate, but really it's the dialogue that makes this burst. A tier.
And next is my fellow squad mate, who can enrapture all with her words. It's Maiden.
Kotodama, the power hidden within one's words.
I think your Chumibuness is rubbing off on Maiden, Guillotine. I do love the background. It looks like Gotham City. And getting to actually see Maiden's full face makes this burst extra special.
Her lines are also powerful, if a little cheesy. Also, Maiden fans, skip the next 10 seconds because I'm going to point out something you'll never be able to unsee. You see that reflection in the metal wall behind her? Notice how Maiden is moving all around but the reflection stays perfectly still? Have fun seeing that every time you look at her in your lobby.
Truly, you walk a dark path, D, leaving misery in your wake. Either way, this other half of Extrinsic goes in S tier.
Going from those who maintain order in the Ark by working in the shadows, we go to a squad who maintains order in the Ark by working in the light. Well, working might be a strong word. It's the ICPU, starting with POLI.
Police Officer Polly is here. Let me be your escort.
Once again, I really like how the burst animation continues on into the actual gameplay, this time with Polly's blue holographic police tape filling the screen. However, there's nothing Polly-specific about this burst animation. It could have just as easily been Miranda's. For that, it goes in B tier.
Speaking of Miranda, she's next with this burst.
I'll make more efforts. Whoa, I'm filled with power.
Like Marian said, these two animations could be swapped and still make sense. They're both fairly generic police-themed animations, though I'd argue the background in Polly's is more interesting. C tier.
Well, this final ACPU member breaks free from the shackles of a coherent theme. It's query.
What a bunch of annoying bugs.
I can't believe they ruined Query's burst just to make another blind joke. And of all the things she could smash, why an Oreo?
For legal reasons, Ingrid has instructed me to tell everyone that that is not in fact an Oreo, but instead an ARC brand chocolate cookie with cream filling. Definitely not an Oreo.
It's silly, but not in a clever way. F tier.
Pay attention. Next is the entire reason Ingrid sent me, to teach you three how to make a good burst. It's mine.
Target sighted. Engaging.
It's not like it's really that.
Oh my gosh, D, that's amazing! The change in art style, the way your eyes glowed red, the pose and camera angle, and that line. It's perfect. S tier.
Excuse me, if you're done fangirling out, I think it's time we move on to, oh crap.
Once again, I'm here to show you ladies how it's done with this. D, killer wife.
Hold on a moment. Target eliminated.
BRID may be the queen of side boob, but nothing beats the classic.
Wow, this might be even better than the last one.
Even I have to admit, this might be one of the hottest burst animations in the game, being both sexy and badass. In fact, you look almost exactly like this one Dojin Rapunzel showed me, about this assassin and the spy she's pretending to be married to. And then there was this psychic kid who...
I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of that. Shut up, Marian, right now.
It would have been nice if there was an option for the evil version of D to be shown when this is set as a lobby background. Although I'm pretty sure most commanders prefer the happy version. Actually, comment below which you like more. Either way, as much as I hate to do this, I have to put this in S tier, just above your original version.
Well, I think my teaching is done here. Speaking of teachers, next is Marciana, with 2 different outfits.
Time for class to begin.
While pain can sometimes be the best teacher, this strict aura doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, the strict teacher thing certainly fulfills a particular taste, but Marciana's entire personality and character is about how loving and caring she is for her students. The dialogue is fine, and the background isn't anything special. It's below average despite the underboob. D tier.
Well, I can appreciate donning disguises to achieve your mission. Even to me, this next one seems a little over the top.
What's today's lesson, teacher? Not everyone can rely on amazing character lore like me to sell $60 skins. Instead, some have to rely on being, as Rapunzel put it, Coomer bait, which this is the textbook definition of. And not just because of the textbooks in the frame.
This power, I can feel it activating my neurons. Stop, fiend, lest you make me summon forth my credit card.
It's over the top. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is debatable. I'm putting it in B tier, but I could understand why the more, cultured among us would rate it higher.
Finishing with the school theme, next is ZWEI.
I hope you'll enjoy the fruits of my efforts.
I have a soft spot in my heart for these kids after I helped them narrowly survive that trip to the surface. But clearly I failed as a teacher because this burst isn't up to grade.
How can one spend so long charging their super, ultra, mega attack and not show it being fired?
Not to mention the background is just the generic school hallway background being reused. Also, given how ZWEI's story is dark enough to be mistaken for one of mine, her dialogue is far too peppy. D tier.
Sit, Rep. We're nearly done with our mission. Last is the newest addition to ELYSION. It's Phantom.
Phantom will come for you when night falls.
Yes, embrace the power of the mysterious forces of the ghostly realm.
Not that kind of phantom.
Not a bad burst. The animation of her hair, clothes, and the card is very smooth. The background is, well, kind of just a void, but the dialogue is fun. High B tier. And that's it for the...
Wait, there is another. I sense it. It defies all earthly rules, yet it still exists in this mortal plane. The power, it's overwhelming. It's her.
Whoa! What am I doing?
What the? Why Why is Shifty's burst here?
Checking my files, it seems Shifty's burst wallpaper is for some inexplicable reason categorized under the ELYSION tab in the lobby settings. Possibly because our manufacturer has such a pathetically small roster, so there was room for her.
Oh, I remember this burst. Neon told me about that fever dream of a day. She kept demanding shower scene Anderson lobby wallpaper, whatever that means. Back to the animation though. It's hilarious, just like everything else on the event. What's not to love? S tier.
And with that, my duty is complete. I must bid thee adieu. Until our next encounter, beware the big O.
Yeah, and I gotta go bug Ether to whip me up the most powerful glue she can make. These papers aren't going to stick themselves to Rappy's walls.
Guys, wait! We still haven't actually come up with any new ELYSION units.
Neither has ShiftUp, and it seems to be working for them.
Share your ideas for any future lists or videos, and join the channel for members-only live streams, your name in the credits, and early access to new videos. Click the join button for full details.
Oh, hit the like button, check out the other tier lists and fan songs on the channel, and share the video around. It really helps.
And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe for more Nikke content. See you next time, Commander.
Rage, flames, burn and fire and ash fill the skies. Every time I take flight, my flames and rage can't be extinguished. To me, your life will be relinquished. All I want to see everything fly.